Parliament out of 2 houses, and therefore we then split and look into the areas of work of each of the houses under the chairperson of the National Council of Provinces has specific headaches. I have my headaches of the National Assembly.
We will get to those headaches a little later on. Thandi, from your side, the roles of the National Council of Provinces chairperson.
We are slightly different from the National Assembly in the sense that the National Assembly has 400 people. We have 54. They are elected directly by the people. We get nominated by the parties that have won elections in the different provinces. And according to the proportions they have won, they calculate the number of the people they can send. Each province sends 6 representatives who are called permanent delegates. At any given time, you must find 54 warm bodies sitting on those benches. But you must also have the potential of seeing 90 people, because every time we have special delegates from the provinces, it is 4 people. The Constitution says those people are led by the premiers. The interesting thing is that our mandate says that we represent the people in the provinces. We also have 10 special seats in the National Council of Provinces, which are reserved for SALGA. SALGA can come and participate. The only thing they can do is vote. The provinces, special and permanent delegates. Section 75, we treat it in a particular way. Section 2, that break. Understand what it means to argue your point, holding the executive to account. And I think that when I look at the quality of debates and the topics that come out of the members into the NCOP for matters on debate, I do feel that we are going somewhere. Of course, one of the things that we are hoping for is that the NCOP could retain better its members. Your house, by now we know that the challenge of the NCOP is slightly different from the challenges faced by the NA. You need somebody who comes for the first time, either coming from the executive or from presiding. So it would work in favor of the NCOP precisely because of the smaller numbers. You need somebody who understands the budget, how it is composed, what strategic questions to put, because you can't always rely on members relying on the executive and the administration. So you need to create that capacity. So I would say midway, we have done well. Our programs are coming to fruition. Are there challenges? Yes, there are challenges. There are always challenges of finances to ensure that you have adequate resources to capacitate your members. We have challenges of space, Speaker. We have challenges of aging infrastructure. But am I happy that there is cohesion and growth? Yes, I am happy. Am I happy that we have improved on our coordination on intergovernmental relations between all the 3 spheres of Parliament as the NCOP? Yes, I am. Am I happy that our planning, just as the NCOP, synchronizes the plans of the provincial legislatures and those of ours? Because if we don't do so, then both the provincial legislatures and ourselves are unable to meet up with our mandates. So I think that halfway through, I think there is a number of things that we can improve on, but overall, I would say I'm satisfied.
Me, Thandi, also the NCOP, Kalemosena, it's celebrating 20 years since he established. What can you tell people to look out for in that context, as a NCOP?
Well, we've not been shy to talk about just celebrating the fact that the Constitution is 20 years and that the same Constitution created us as the NCOP. We have also not been shy to say, but we're not a perfect structure, and therefore we do need to look at one of the things that I referred to is just the numbers. Isn't it time just looking at the burden of work on the 54 permanent members for this country to come back and say, look, let us review the numbers for the NCOP. We are also looking at like houses. We are looking at the challenges, for instance, of members' bills. We think that, in fact, it would be easy for us to deal with that. We are also looking at our performance as the only house of the two that deals with petitions, that it would be good for us to deal with petitions very differently. We are looking at the litigation that hits Parliament, both because there's no way they drag the Speaker to the House without dragging me to the House. So we're looking at what are our weaknesses. Shouldn't we be doing something about restructuring the administration of Parliament? Do we have the required numbers? Yes, we think we do. When we came in 2014, we had a shortage of critical skills. We're standing at around 30%.
Members of Parliament, either zasephondweni okanye zalapha apha eKapa eNational Parliament, ngokwendlela esibadeploye ngazo kwiikomiti nakwiindawo ngeendawo apho sibanika khona imisebenzi ukuba bayisebenze bayenze. Uyabona nje umuntu ofana nomuntu oyi-presiding officer kufuneka edlale indima engumuntu ojonge iparlamente yonke, ojonge into yoba zibe khona ii-resources zokuba wonke umuntu oyi-MP akwazi ukwenza umsebenzi wakhe kangangoko. So thina mhlawumbi asizukwazi ufumana amathuba alinganayo nabanye abantu abangenayo le eminye imisebenzi esinayo thina ekufuneka siyifezile apha eParlamente njengeenkokheli eziphethe yona i-institution iyonke. Kodwa omnye umuntu who is maybe a backbencher, uyabona umuntu nje ojonge yena into yoba uzaya kwikomiti abuye aye kwenye ikomiti yakhe esibini and then agoduke ngeweekend, uzawukwazi uba nexesha yena more than elomnye umuntu ona more responsibilities as i-responsibilities ke ziyashiyana. Ndizama ke ukuthi ngawo wonke amaxesha ii-members zeParlamente ziyazama. Ngamanye amaxesha azizuphumelela kuba umntu ke engumntu uyinyama negazi qha, azufana ne-robot okanye ne-machine. But iParlamente yona ngokwayo inemisebenzi, imisebenzi ihlukahlukene. For instance, kukhona i-oversight work. Kukho amaxesha ukuthi ii-members mazihambe ziye ebantwini ziyonika ingxelo, ziyojonga zibone ukuthi kwenzeka ntoni kwi-ground, ukuze zikwazi ubuya zizise loo ngxelo apha kwezi komiti zaseParlamente ekufuneka ke zona zifumene iindlela zokusombulula ezo ngxaki. Ndiyabulela.
Ndiyabulela Speaker. Thandi re mhlomong ke kenye wena mona. There's an aspect ya potso e butsitsweng ke Patco ya what recourse maybe do people in the ground have if they go ba tsamaile ba ya ho a member of Parliament ba fitla ba mmolela mathata bona me ha ska ba le letho le etsalang ka mathata wa bona. Do they have any recourse?
Member ya Parliament e emetse batho Parliamenteng ke mahlo ke ditsebe ke molomo wa batho bana. Mara member ya Parliament o hopole hore ha tshwane le minister, ha tshwane le premier, ha tshwane le MEC, ha tshwane le mayor. Hona le dintho tse a kgonang go di etsa. O kgona gore a eme ka gara Parliament kapa ka mo komiting, a hlaise dipono tse di tswang bathong, a botse dipotso tse e leng gore ke tse dintho tse di utlwisang bohloko kapa le tsone tse thabisang setjhaba hara ntlo. Mme o tshwanetse gore a pinyelle executive, a ibotse dipotso tse di thata on behalf of the people, a nke dikarabo tsena he a di busetse bathong. So in other words, ntwena ya oversight e limited ho batho ba seng di minister kapa di mayoral committee jwalo, because ba tshwanetse hore ba botse dipotso on your behalf, ba tshwanetse ba latelle dintho tsa hao, mara ha ba kgone ho di etsa hobane ha se bone ba nkang diqeto tseno. Batho ba le ba cabinet ke bona ba tshwanetse ba etse ntho tseo. Member wa Parliament o faila setjhaba ha pallwa ke gore a boele setjhabeng a re ke butsitse potso ena karabo ke ena. ba itse ba tla tla, ba itse ha ba no kgona, ba itse ba tla kgona selemo se tlang, a be teng le batho ba hae monateng le mahlokong. Ntho e nngwe ke gore di-member tsa parliament ha di fihla mona ha ba ye kaofela di-committing tsena kaofela, ba dividega. So o thole gore membera ona o mongwe o dutse ko education le ko health, ha kgone o tseba gore ka mane ka mo seponeseng ho etsagalang, ka mo le ka mo social development go etsagalang. So what we need to do rona re le parliament ke gore re ne re etsa gore di-member tsena ha di setse di itukisetsa go ya gae di-constituency kapa ka di-recession mo re tsebang gore ba tla kopana le batho, re kgone go ba fa gore mo pakeng ena go tloga March kapa go fihla ka June, department e nngwe le e nngwe e sebedisitse tšhelete e kana ya etsa se le se ke ena ntho ka isang gae.
Thandi ka tlhaloso ya hao re se rena le ke kopa nke di phone tsa mme re na le Tebogo tswa Midrand le yena o la ka tsa botsa potso. Tebogo are you there? Tebogo, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here, but you're a bit low, my brother. Eh? You're very low.
Unfortunately, my brother, we're trying to explain to the people as much as we possibly can, but we'll try and be quicker. You can't hear me?
Yeah,
no, I'm saying that we will try to be quicker, but we're trying to give a concrete karabo
oh, ke putsa potsa them from the drop.
O ka mamela ho batla kapo o ka mamela re se le moyeng sa.
Oh, okay. All right, no problem.
Botsa potso he Tebo.
Yeah, man. What do you really think are the key policies that Parliament is looking into that will really determine the future and determination of black people in South Africa? Because my problem with Parliament is that it's an oversight for everyone. But if you look at the key issues that are happening and the demise of a certain group is of the black people, what is Parliament doing to address that? The pleas and the cries of the black nation.
Yeah, I'm
I can engage with them. Can I engage with them?
We can give you that opportunity, but not for long. Yeah,
definitely.
You've got the right people to answer that question for you.
Yeah, sure.
Parties that come to Parliament, Debo, reflect the sentiment and the aspirations of the voters. The voters look at the manifestos and they vote accordingly. When those who come to Parliament come here, it becomes a competition of those that have won the majority seat to implement what they promised to the electorate, and those who are opposing, who say, yes, we have similarities here, but you are different here, and we think if we win next time, we will do better here. So it's a competition of politics. That competition must always be geared towards improving the lives of the people. And I think as South Africa, we must then say, did we put in policies which in any way tried to affirm those who were previously disadvantaged? Because that is what I'm catching your drift on. Has Parliament ever worried about the issues of land? Because that is a topical thing. Isn't it true that it is Parliament, Baleka, that first agitated on, as we were going towards 2013, on the centenary of the Land Act, and said, and therefore you cannot afford to keep quiet on this matter. What are we going to do about land? But Parliament is not the executive. Parliament holds the executive to account. And Parliament must then say, you have given us a policy on land, but we think these are the loopholes on this, on the implementation. This is what we think we want to recommend tinkering on to do this. Or you have given us an undertaking that you are going to produce X. You have not produced X. Please explain to us. That is the role that Parliament plays. Must it agitate for the reversal of the wrong past? Yes, it must. Is it on the side of the people? It must reflect the people. must it only represent those who have voted? No. Parliament needs to be so broad that it hears even those who do not have a voice on the floor of Parliament and reflects the sentiments and the aspirations of those people. Mayor Baleka, I don't know if I've covered you.
No, I'm happy with your answer and I agree with it. I just want to add, Tebogo, that Parliament is an institution that brings together the diversity of political thought. So, depending on the manifestos and the political approach of various parties that are here, will determine the preoccupations and the weight that we will show by the things that we raise and, in fact, the views that we pursue, even as we discuss an issue. But on the whole, we all would like to be known to be caring about our people. But of course, here and there, the differences between us in terms of our policy perspectives will always show. So, as Thandi is indicating, we are here sent by interest groups from society, different political thoughts that come from our people in the society, and we come here and we engage, we exchange, precisely so as to come out with the best that would have been agreed in terms of that which we then bring out for the people of South Africa as a way out of many, many challenges that are there in our communities. And in particular, as you say, because the black man is the majority here, and that's also the majority of the poor, it's also the majority of those that were disadvantaged. The tendency will always be that we would want that, in fact, most of what we bring out of the work that we do will favor those people.
I think also just to add, Parliament passes the budget. So actually, Parliament does have the power to redirect spending of government. Parliament has not yet, not once, used this power. And it is a power that one day when Parliament says we're not passing this budget because we want to redirect it to that decision, that moment must be taken very soberly. Because the day you take that decision as Parliament, you must take it understanding that when you do not pass the budget, you actually bring government to a halt. So, yes, Parliament is a battlefield in a most sophisticated way for debates. And yes, it holds the purse strings of government, because without Parliament you cannot expand. But it is also a mediator of society, because I think the clever way is to look at whether Parliament can push government so subtly. For instance, Baleka, in Uganda, the violence against women was gaining ground. So Parliament appealed, Parliament stopped work, went to constituencies, and finally Parliament then said, look, we suspend Parliament because we do not see the point of continuing to represent the people that are being murdered in the streets.
Okay. You said you're going to engage in them. Are you satisfied with the responses that you get? Tebo? It looks like Tebo is gone. We have another caller on the line, Ke Lebu from Aliwal North. Lebu? Lebu?
Melamre.
Ndati.
Ke itumedisetsa go lona mono le bomme ke na le potso ke gola potso na igolo a gola ke tla ibotsa re na le challenge mabapi le local government ha tlameile go tlo o tlisa di programs tsa radio jalo ka radio ele a tool fumana hore ka nnete a re kgone ba fumana batho bana bomme Thandi le mme Baleka mono ba entse ntho e kgolo hampe hore re kgone ba utlwa radio ba kgona ho bua empa ba ke ba re thusa from mona tlase from especially mona rural areas more relenting tlasa Jokabi district re sokola of mana it's including the departments ena ha ba khone tla di programs tsa bona ba tlo bua mona ba blele ba thona what are their programs, what are they doing, but we always get the information that is said abana the communication officers and the communication officers di bo bisho kwana. We are having a serious challenge and we've got a lot of departments here se sa khone go tla wele sindi tlo sebetsa ke ka khone ke tla ba hola ba ke ba khona go thusa o bua le bo Khasipi a lual not
ntate Khasipi re le ba ka potso ya hao me Thandi le me Baleka ba tla araba
morena ha re batle gore ba bua le wena ka wa leseng re batla o bone ditshebeletso di le ka bathong ka strateng ka mo motseng re batla o ba bona ba fihla ka namana ke batla ke re le yona ha se nnete ntho eo ya hore ba sebeletsi ba masipala kapa ba sebeletsi ba province kapa ba sebeletsi ba di cabinet national ha bana di spokesperson bana le tsona mohlomongwe e ka ba taba ya hore he ba setse ba re ba bokeleditse ntho tse ba batlang go di bolella setšhaba go na le blockage hobane rona re le parliament re le legislative sector ya South Africa ha rena di radio tsena tsa rona ebileng ha rena di television tsena tsa rona tse khonang tse tla khontsa masipala kapa province kapa national hore a khone communicate straight le batho but ha o le jwalo morena hona le di-number tse dingata-ngata tsena tsa bo di 080 tsena tse di fiwang batho gore ha ona le disturbance nyana o sa thaba o di use but ke ne ke re bua le rona morena re tla bona re thusa jwang.
I want to agree with what the caller has raised, because if we talk about a democratic dispensation, a democratic parliamentary system, it means that it is on behalf of the people. It means that the people are at the center of how you do things, including how you communicate, including how you enable people. And our constitution in South Africa specifically mentions the importance of the involvement of the public, the involvement of the people, even in the process of making laws. So we want to say that it's not a question of people must beg the state to communicate appropriately so as to ensure that they are able, as the ordinary people on the ground, on whose behalf we are working here in Parliament, the people who elected us to come and work here in Parliament, they must make a contribution. They must shape, they must influence what we do and how we understand what we are doing and how best to represent the needs of our people.
Thank you, Baleka. Let's go back to the callers and take Mandla from Brakpan. Mandla.
Hey, hi.
How you say?
I'm okay, so.
Not too bad.
Hey, now my question is directed to member Baleka Mbete.
Okay.
I'd like to understand, exactly what does it mean to hold the executive to account? For an example, Parliament is an oversight committee, or because my worry is that, for an example, when you look at issues like Bunkandla and all the other things that happen, Bunkandla, SATC and whatnot, it is really difficult to separate between the ruling party and the Parliament as an oversight itself of the executive. You see, because, like, for an example, you'll see that people other parties want to hold the executive to account, but you find that ANC members or ANC MPs are pushing against that. They're siding with the very same thing that they're supposed to be, changing. So my question is that how really then do you determine, do you differentiate between the ambitions of the party, which in this case is the ANC, or the Parliament as an oversight? Because then the lines are too clear in that instance.
Okay, ke a le bapile me Thandi episode me Baleka araba re reng ke le buang ka pele le na o tsala o khutla pe maleng le buang o teng
Tebogo.
Oh, is it Tebogo?
Yes, sir.
Tebogo is back. Okay, please ke ne ke le ka o re o tla engage and then you disappeared, but go ahead.
Yeah, you know what I was asking. I mean, I got the answers that they gave us, but they're a bit shallow, you know. Let's look at if I think it was Baleka who she said that the governing party gives what their plan is going to be for however many years, and if they don't adhere to it, there are consequences. But we haven't seen that at all. If you look at land expropriation, the ANC since '94 has taken a policy that 30% now they're at 5%.
Well, are you going to hold, or should you listen on the radio?
I will hold.
You'll hold again. Okay, maybe let us start off. Should we start off kapotso ya lebo pele and the eminent ya khasipe pele, and then before we come back to you, or
yeah, you can go to another person, then I'll come to you.
Okay. Maybe let's go back to the question Yamandla regarding holding. Let's deal with that quickly. The question Yamandla regarding holding the executive to account.
Holding the executive to account happens in different ways and with different structures within the parliamentary system. Part of how we do that is that the various portfolio committees, where each portfolio committee is overseeing a particular government department holding or working in that specific portfolio. Let's say health. The health portfolio committee has the responsibility to be focused on issues of health. Having seen what the health minister or the ministry and the department concerned have promised and have asked for from the national fiscus. In other words, so the Ministry of Finance gives them money to achieve certain particular goals and promises in the country. To what extent are they implementing those promises based on the budget and doing the things that they said they asked for that budget for? That's what the holding to account does, because these different portfolio committees will look in detail at what the department is actually doing on the ground, the extent to which the money is going and being spent for what in fact it was asked for. There is also the Auditor General, who also has the same job of overseeing the expenditure of money that accrues to various work and programs of government, and the extent to which it is appropriately being spent, and it is in fact pursuing the principles and the values of clean governance. We have in Parliament a committee that in fact will always call and in fact expose the mistakes where in fact those principles of clean governance are not being followed the way that they are expected to be followed. So there are the various ways of doing that. The oversight trips that committees go on the ground, the taking Parliament to the people, the NCOP chairperson often comes back and shares with me the horrors they see on the ground where hospitals were built. They stay there as white elephants. In fact, what you see is that there is filth, and yet people are ill and they need those services, but there is something that's wrong that somebody has to find out what is the problem. So it's ongoing work, and because you know you need to focus on your own area of work and come out, it takes years of coming off the back and forth of various structures of Parliament working together towards ensuring that we achieve the things we promise to our people on the ground.
Lebu, which speaks about land expropriation. Sorry. Is there something that Parliament can do more than it has already done in that regard?
To the other, Parliament must make recommendations, must censor, must ask questions, must follow up. But the electoral systems versus the model of governance that South Africa is into. Because everything depends on whether you have a society and an empowered electorate that is strong enough to deal with certain things in a particular time and era. So for now, it is important that members of parliament understand the powers of their committees, understand the powers of parliament, are able to use these powers that they have without fear or favor. And until South Africa matures to that direction, then we will have the complaints that we are getting from the air. We need to begin to say, is it time for us to step up? But if you look at every year, how we are an increasing number ya di parties, it means re santsane ka nnete re le mo transitioning ha re so correlate re qualeze into such a ntwena where you can actually start saying, now we are pushing, and now we have Team South Africa, and these are the national interests, and it doesn't matter what happens. Re tla pusha ntho tsena. Ntho engwe ke gore go ba difficult for members of parliament to push the executive in a time when you know, because you have access to the steps tse di o bontshang gore exactly how much is there in the fiscus. Tšhelete ena e baletsweng. Hobane re tswa ko apartheiding, and hobane re na le ditlhokego tse di ngata-ngata. South Africa must at some point say we need to prioritize. Reprioritizing South Africa. Is it education? Is it land? Is it housing for the poor? At some point we need to say, Noma kanjani, this one we are pursuing.
Okay.
I want to just use an opportunity to say the last word on the land matter. As the people who are running parliament, as well as the provincial legislatures, together in our forum that brings together the speakers from around the country, we established 2 years ago a high-level panel which is being headed and run by our former president, Kgalema Motlanthe. We are going to be receiving a report from them because we asked them to go out and independently work and go and consult our people throughout the length and breadth of our country to find out to what extent has legislation that has been passed since the past 20 years had an impact in the lives of our people. So that report is coming back, and we will receive it, and we will make it public because we want to share it with our people. But what I want to highlight is the fact that among key areas around which this report will give us a feedback is the matter of land. And I'm happy also that one of the panelists is a person that worked on the land matter way back when we were, in fact, here in the Constitutional Assembly talking about the issues of land and how critical it is that South Africa embarks on a land reform process that will be fair and will really respond appropriately to the needs of the previously exploited and oppressed people of South Africa, who are in the majority, the black people from whom the land was stolen, actually.
Okay, we're nearing the closure of our program now because we have to end at 6 o'clock. Maybe some closing remarks from the two of you.
As Parliament, we're very happy that we have had a chance for 20 years of a constitution that forces us to do what we are doing tonight, to talk to you, to invite your participation, to educate, to get you to mandate us to do what we are supposed to do. Bongeka cool.
Baleka.
I can only say also thank you very much for your participation.